The Strength of the Few by James Islington is one of the most anticipated books of 2025. I know I have been chomping at the bit for ever since I finished The Will of the Many from that very last page. I have been waiting on pins and needles to get my hands on this chunker of a book too. And I will say that I loved this book just as much as I loved The Will of the Many, with one caveat, and that is that I understood going into this that it is a middle book in a trilogy, I believe, or it is a second book. And so my expectations, I think, were a little bit tempered for that, because I have read a lot of trilogies, I've read a lot of series, and I know that the action and build up of book one, book two kind of sort of is a transitional book. It moves us from that initial storyline to the final denouement of the story. And so there's going to be a little bit more exposition. There's going to be a little bit more of that traveling from here to here. And with that in mind, this was one of the best book twos that I have ever read. I'm not going to talk at length about the story, because if you have not read The Will of the Many yet, you have not experienced that WTF moment at the end of that book, then talking anything really about this story will give away some of that ending, because this is a book two. I will say that we are following this in three different sort of areas, and so we jump back from Vis 1 to Vis 2 to Vis 3. The timeline does get a little bit confusing, especially if you're doing the audio. I did kind of jump back and forth between reading and the audio, and I did find that while the narrator was fantastic, the sort of slightly visual cue that you get in the book with a blank page as we are switching from a viewpoint to viewpoint was not there in the audiobook. You kind of just had to pick it up based on narrative clues. And once you kind of get going with the three different vises that you're dealing with, if you are an audio person, it is a lot easier to pick up where you are in the story. But if you are finding the audio to be a little confusing, then just pick up the book and you'll get like a nice kind of blank page as you are transitioning from viewpoint to viewpoint. I absolutely love this. I cannot wait for book 3. Does anybody know when it's coming out yet?